Mindbenders. Mindbenders is about both the Americans and the Soviets during the Cold War had mind control programs, had programs designed to investigate whether human beings could read each other's minds and put thoughts into someone else's mind and go places that without going physically. You could actually out-of-body travel. All of those things were investigated seriously. And the American program went on for 18 years. It was funded by the CIA, by NASA, by the Army. George Clooney made a jokey movie about it a couple of years ago, but they got results. The program was decommissioned in the 80s and declassified in the 90s. There are 6 or 7 books by members of the program who tell some pretty hair-raising stories about things that they did. And the thing that I did a lot of research and what convinced me that there really was something to this was the fact that President Bush Sr., who had not coincidentally been chairman of the CIA before becoming president, invited several of the members of the program back into the government during the Gulf War to work as mindbender spies. And you don't ask people back into the government and start paying them again if they didn't provide results in the first place. So my main character, is the cream of the Soviet program. 3 generations of psychics bred by the state for their power. He's a genetic experiment named Max Wren. And he spends 20 years in the program because he can't get control of himself. He's so powerful that he kills people, kills his instructors unintentionally. And when he finally does begin to get control of himself, they come to him and say, well, it's time to leave. And he says, what's my mission? And they say, there's no mission. Soviet Union's over. The country's collapsed. And he goes out on the streets for the first time in his life. He's out free. And the place is in chaos. Everything's falling apart. His whole world is falling apart. And they've raised him to be an American. So where does he go? He comes here. And we meet him 20 years later. And his best friend has just been shot. Page 1, paragraph 1. It's a thriller. And he has to go find out why the man was killed and what's behind it. And the thing that the book fulfills all the things you look to a thriller for. There's lots of action. There's lots of things going on. There's an international conspiracy, which I'll go into at another time. But the thing that I find fascinating and the thing that I think I deal with a lot in the book is what it would be like to hear the thoughts of everybody around you constantly. I'd have no choice but to hear them. It's a torment and it's of value, but it's, when the girl says she thinks you're fascinating, you know better. When your friends laugh at your terrible joke, you know it's a terrible joke. When the girl actually falls for you, you realize that how foolish her hopes are for you. So it's not a blessing, but it's, I think, a different world, a bigger world. And one of the things that, one of the doors that opened for me doing the research and writing the book is that this is not just fiction. There are things here, there's a bigger world than the one that we think we're living in. And I'm trying to open the door to that a bit. And I find that very interesting. That's my idea of a book trailer.